Greetings. If you didn't see part 1 of acquiring and unboxing this guitar right here, you can find it right there. But today, we're doing the modifications to the guitar to make it better, to fix the things that need to be fixed, and that includes changing the pickups, changing the bridge, oiling the neck, putting locking tuners on it, and it does have very high action. It has about 3 millimeters action on the guitar. That probably could be fixed if we got in there and we leveled the frets. But we're not going to do that for now. It doesn't sound too bad if you get a real vintage Fender. A lot of the time they will have, if they haven't had fretwork done, they will have a high action about 3 millimeters. Again, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds actually very good because of all of that action. It has a lot of resonance. But eventually, I'll probably level that fretboard. But today, we're going to show the guitar with the modifications that we've made to it. So let's get to that first, and then we'll be back to hear the guitar and compare it to a real Fender. Okay, so we have the guitar on our bench. We have our fretboard here, which looks like it is rosewood, but I would like to see what radius it is, because they actually didn't tell me what radius it is. I asked them and they didn't answer me. So it looks like it's about a 10-inch radius, maybe a 12, but it looks like a 10, not exactly a 9.5. The strings on here are not good, so we're going to take these off, replace them. We're going to replace the tuners because they don't stay in tune. We're going to replace the bridge because this bridge is not good whatsoever, and then most importantly, the pickups. These have like some weird kind of soft plastic covers on them. We're going to take those off too. Truss rod looks okay. The nut, maybe in the future we will change. It looks okay for now. And so let's get to it. Let's get the strings off and then the pickguard off to look at these pickups, and then we'll get that bridge off too. And then we can pull everything out. It's actually routed for HSH. There are mini pots, not surprising. Looks like an okay switch. It does feel okay. And then you have your pickups here, and everything looks okay down here. So we're going to leave this for now, and we're going to take this bridge out next. So we have got the bridge out, and the strings are actually stuck in there, but it's a really cheap bridge with a really small, cheap block. We have a new one here, an actual genuine Fender, and you can see how different the block is, and obviously the qualities of the metal and all that good stuff. So we're going to replace this bridge, but the screw holes are going to have to be re-drilled. That's okay. And we're going to change these pickups. So the pickups we're going to use are Wilkinson pickups. They are Alnico 560s pickups, and they have the branding, the name on the actual cover, pickup cover. So we have some other covers to go with it. We could use these if we wanted, but we have some aged covers from Caiche that we're going to put on, which should look good. And then we have the machine heads here from Geiger, which are vintage style locking tuners. So they're vintage in style and appearance, but they lock. They're locking tuners. So we can first change these pickups. And so I'm going to take a picture of what it looks like, and then we can get in there and solder and do what we have to do. And looking in here, you can see there's some pretty quality stuff going on. You have the routing for HSH. Like we said before, there's shielding here. The switch is actually pretty nice. There's nothing wrong with the switch. And so we're just going to desolder these. It goes neck, middle, and bridge. And we're just going to desolder these here so we can take these pickups out. And then they are all grounded to the back of the same pot, and so down here they're all grounded together, and so this should be pretty easy to rewire back up. So we're going to remove this. You should wear glasses or a mask when you do this stuff, and we'll be back putting in the new pickups. And we can get a close-up of what the switch looks like and what the electronics, the pots. This is the bridge, the replacement actual Fender bridge. And then there's the routing, which looks pretty good. And then these new pickups from Wilkinson are much better quality. They're Alnico 5. They have cloth wire. They have nice wrapping around the winding. They have the beveled edges. But the covers do say Wilkinson on them. And as much as I like the brand, I don't love the way that looks. So I do have covers to put on top of that to make it look a little better. But they're labeled neck, middle, and bridge with different colors. And they came with all the strings and screws that you need to install them. And then we have, like we talked about before, these aged covers from Caiche and knobs, but I don't know if we'll use the knobs. We'll see if it doesn't match. We probably will, so all the colors match. And then just like that, we have our pickups and we can install them into the pickguard and then wire them up. We have got the new pickups wired in. We have them grounded. We have them to the switch. And we will test them by plugging in the guitar and tapping them with a screwdriver. But for now, we can install this bridge. So we have to drill new holes for this bridge, and to do that we'll make pilot holes first, and then we will get in there and install the screws themselves. And just like that, we've changed the bridge and the pickups and put the pickguard back on. Now we can change the machine heads, the tuners. I have some lemon oil here to condition the fretboard, and then we can put some strings on here and see how it sounds. And then we can finally plug it in and do a demo. And we are back. You saw the guitar in the beginning, but we have made the modifications. We put Wilkinson vintage single coil pickups in the guitar. We put a genuine Fender bridge, and we put Geiger locking tuners, vintage type locking tuners on there. And let me tell you, it sounds and plays 3 to 5 times better. The only thing that would make it almost perfect, and I forgot to say we did put True Oil on the back of the neck because there really was no finish. It had been sanded away in the relicking process, and we had added some more kind of holes and dings in the guitar. So let's plug it into a Fender Mustang amp, which can simulate a couple different types of amps. Right now we have it on a deluxe reverb. Turn up the volume a little bit with no pedals, clean on the neck. Here's what you get. Second position or fourth position. Middle position. Second position. And then all the way to first. So I do like that the bridge pickup is not too harsh. Sometimes they're a little ice picky and have too much high frequency. Here, I think it's actually pretty well rounded. They're lower output because they are vintage pickups. They are Alnico 5, but I think they sound great. So let's go back to the neck and let's put on a tube screamer. Here's what you get. And then back to the bridge. And then if we try a rat distortion, here's what you get. So these locking tuners work really well. They're Geiger locking tuners, cheap, like $40, and they do the job. They work really well. The guitar stays in tune well. The bridge is an official Fender bridge and trem, but on the back here, the block, you can see the cutout is smaller than it should be on a real Fender. So there's not as much room for the block to move like it would on a Fender. But we go back here and we turn off the rat distortion. We still have the tube screamer on. If we go and put a Klon type on and some chorus, here's what you get on the neck. pickups sound good. The guitar sounds good. The action definitely makes it difficult to play. Very, very high action. The radius of the fretboard, we should talk about, is flatter than an actual Fender. It is not 9.5 inches. You find that a lot in guitars that come from overseas. They like to put a flatter radius on it. I don't know if it's just easier for them when they manufacture them or what, but here you have about 14-inch radius. It feels good to play, but that really high action makes it difficult to play. The pickups sound good. Wilkinson pickups, so maybe not the best pickups. They're a little bassy, and maybe they lack a little bit of definition or punch that you can find on maybe a more modern Alnico 5 pickup. But let's try a little higher gain just to hear that, and then we'll compare it to an actual Fender. So we have an ultra metal distortion right here. On the bridge. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's hard to play, but it actually, if you have it through the right amp or the right pedals, it could sound good. But the other thing I wanted to mention is in the other video, we kind of just talked about how it was a Relic custom shop Strat, but what it really is based on John Mayer's Black Beast, or the Black One, or whatever it was called. It's a custom shop Relic Black Strat, but it was the one based on the one that he had played for a while. And on the website, on AliExpress, they had it listed in the description as Rory Gallagher. But it's not a Rory Gallagher. Rory Gallagher is missing more of the finish. It is not a black finish. It is a sunburst finish. And so yeah, John Mayer type black Strat. But let's compare it to a real Fender Strat real quick. So here is a real Fender Player Strat. It does also have a maple fretboard, so that will make a little bit of a difference. It has Tone Rider pickups, so they are different pickups, but they are also vintage voiced. It also obviously has a humbucker in the bridge, and that's different than the single coil in that one. But just to hear how it sounds, let's do a demo for you. Another thing that we could point out is the action is much better, standard-like, closer to 2 millimeters. And so here's what you get. We are back on clean with just a tube screamer. Here's what you get. So one of the things that people say is tone wood doesn't matter, right? Well, it definitely does, because that is just lesser quality. Alder, it is alder. There's more pieces of it, and it's just lesser quality. It's lighter. It's not as heavy or as solid. Here you have a more solid piece of higher alder, less pieces of it. And it sounds a lot better. The pickups sound better too. But the wood in the body and the neck are making a difference in the tone, for sure. That's not all solely from the pickups, like some people would lead you to believe. We go to the middle position, here's what you get. Into the bridge, which is a humbucker. It's a little different. Back to the neck. Sounds a lot better. Middle position. So obviously, a lot easier to play, and it sounds a lot better. And this guitar was actually B-stock. It was actually in kind of bad shape from Pro Audio Star. And I did some work on it. I changed the pickguard to a very cool pickguard from a company called Carmedan. Check them out. They'll be in the description. The pickups, again, Tone Rider, pure vintage pickups. Tone Rider makes incredible pickups for very affordable prices. And then Planet Tone and Alnico 3, actually, humbucker in the bridge. And locking tuners from Schaller, which are way too nice, but they do a great job. And it just sounds a lot better, huh? Rat distortion. Just much much, much easier to play and sounds way, way better. And then back to the Ultra Metal on the single coil in the neck. So it's just all around a much better guitar. If that guitar was brought to a luthier and the work that needed to be done was done to it, the neck was leveled, it'd make a big difference. But the body will always kind of be shittier alder. It's like, I don't even know how many pieces of wood it is. It looks like it's like 8 pieces on top and then another 8 pieces that are sandwiched together. And I feel like that's so many, it might even be more than that. It's like 20 pieces of alder. So it is alder, but it's just not high quality. And the relicking, so the thing is, the relicking is really great, and it looks really cool. The headstock shape is not the right shape. The little bump here is too small. If we show you a comparison of the two, you can see wrong here. It's pretty fuck up looking. That's how it always is, though. When you get a counterfeit, something is weird, and they're probably doing it to avoid Fender getting very mad and coming after them. But overall, for the money, pretty cool. You might be able to get one. I'm sure you're able to get one that's better quality than this, but the thing is, when you get a relic one, you're kind of sacrificing the quality of the guitar for the looks of the guitar. They're really not going to worry too much about the guitar being amazingly playable because they're more worried about making it amazing looking. Because again, you can't get a relic guitar that looks like that for, less than thousands of dollars unless you do it yourself here, from manufacturers in the US. It obviously doesn't have a nitro finish. It looks like, it's kind of fakey if you see it up close. If you see the headstock up close, you know that it's fake. So, I don't know how comfortable I would be like playing it on stage, especially because it just doesn't play very good. But, overall, what did you think? Do you think it's worth maybe doing more work to it, leveling the fretboard, bringing it to a luthier? You think it's so good looking that it doesn't really matter, hang it on the wall and just be like, boom, there's my John Mayer Strat that still plays pretty well. But let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I'll do a third part for this. And for the people that were waiting for the video for a long time, I apologize for how long it took, but I appreciate you sticking around and asking for the video and all of that. I love all of you. I appreciate everyone that watches the channel. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to keep it running, but thank you for being here. And until next time, play guitar, play Strats, and listen to John Mayer because he's one of the greatest blues guitarists today. Thank you. Take care. So it should be so if we go and we put a clon type on and some chorus, here's what you get.